of King William on it. And William of Orange was the deliverer of civil and religious liberty. He brought relief from tyranny and arbitrary power. We believe the hand of Providence was upon him, and that the outworking of his stand for civil and religious liberty secured us as a people. You have a local scene on the other side of your banner, and a picture or a painting of Slemish Mountain, and Brother Ian has already mentioned St Patrick and the association with that, and the bringing of the gospel to Ireland. And indeed I hope and trust that the brethren of Ballygelly are a witness for that gospel in this area. These are very busy and exciting days for us at headquarters, and we've recently moved back to Schomberg House from our temporary premises in Newton Arch Road, and Monday morning we will be opening our doors to the public for the first time to our new Museum of Orange Heritage and Interpretive Centre, and God willing next Monday morning the County Armagh will be opening the Sloan's Inn in Loughgall to the public as well. And these two new centres will be there to explain Orangeism to the general public and to those maybe who don't know so much about us, and also to preserve the many archives and the many items that we have. They will help, these two centres will help to preserve and promote our Orange culture for many years to come. And you know, as I travel quite long distance at times, because I live out in the Wild West in Tyrone, and it's most of 90 miles to Belfast, but I do that most weeks. And as I travel along the road, I listen to the radio on the car, and sometimes I listen to Radio 4, and one of the programmes I heard a few weeks back was a programme called Thinking Aloud, presented by a guy called Laurie Taylor, and they were discussing the effect that urban regeneration had in the inner city of Liverpool, and how redevelopment had introduced different classes of people to an area which would have been occupied by dockers and shipyard workers. But in conclusion, Taylor quoted a man called Arthur Dooley, who had been a former shipyard worker but had become quite a famous sculptor. He said, "There's no one as easy to rob of their culture as those who don't know they have one." And brothers and sisters, that's the sad thing about Northern Ireland today. There are many of the Protestant people know very little of their culture and their history, and it's not taught in our schools. And just a few weeks ago we heard how items and books telling our side of the story were hard to find in the shop at the Ulster Museum in Belfast. Many of our Protestant children know very little about our culture and heritage, and it's up to us to remedy that, and I believe these two new centres will greatly help us to do so. We have two outreach workers reaching out to schools and encouraging schools to come to visit our centres, and I trust that God willing that they will bring many young folk in to our centres, and they will hear what we are truly about. The Orange Order is indeed a worldwide institution. We have approximately 100,000 members worldwide, right across the globe, and there can be very few cultural organisations with membership as big as that. We are built up around the Protestant Reformed faith, and that should never change. And God willing, in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be going to Liverpool for a week's conference with the leaders from Orangeism around the world for our Imperial Orange Council, where we'll have those from England and Scotland, from the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Togo and Ghana. We should be very proud that our membership is so strong in these days, when people have so much competing for their attention. And the Orange Order is alive and well, and I believe it's alive and well here in Broughshane and indeed in Ballygelly Lodge. It takes time and effort to create a buoyant institution, and I want to pay tribute to everyone who has worked so hard to make tonight's unfurling possible. As I said earlier, banners aren't cheap items, and it's a sign that the Lodge is here for the long haul when they've put this new banner at the disposal of the Lodge. I trust that it is carried proudly at your demonstrations here in County Antrim, that many more young men from the area will be encouraged to join your ranks and that your lodge may go from strength to strength in the years ahead. The future of our great organisation is only as good as individual lodges, and it needs people like you to keep up the momentum. Finally, Brother Chairman, can I wish you and your lodge God's richest blessing for the weeks and the months ahead, and more importantly for the long term, as you seek to be a witness for him in this part of County Antrim and to promote and preserve our unique Orange culture. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.